We do have breaking news, and I don't know how important this is, but to certain people, it's very important. To others, maybe myself included, not so much. But this is big news for Swifties. Confession, I've never heard that song before, but I think it's by Taylor Swift.
Okay, look, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. It is huge, huge news. And we have Caitlin Johnson, KSL NewsRadio's Taylor Swift correspondent, probably by her own self-definition.
Yes, I will say. I was sort of given that title when the Eras Tour was huge, and I, did a lot of coverage just for whoever asked me here because I just know things about Taylor Swift. So
look,
this is exciting. I don't know.
Look, I just have to look on Instagram because that's where it was announced 49 minutes ago. 7.2 million likes.
Yeah. Big
in
news.
49 minutes, going up by hundreds of thousands every minute.
Yes. So I will help all the listeners out there. Like, why do I care about this? Maybe you don't. It's okay. And Greg, by the way, that song is a song that Taylor wrote on her last album, which was an extremely depressing album. And that was the happiest song on the album about Travis Kelce. So it's just, there's a significance there. But just, as context, Taylor Swift is an artist. She writes about her life all the time. And for someone who's been following her for so long, we've seen the rough relationship. She's written about these relationships, and the reason she has such a strong fan base is she writes about very relatable things. She's kind of put our feelings into words for us. And so from going from the Tortured Poets Department album, singing about I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, Down Bad Crying at the Gym, things like that. Just, it was a very depressing album about her love life.
Yeah.
To this today, it's very significant. And I feel like there's just a lot of people who are just extremely happy for her. And that's how I'm feeling and why it is blowing up on Instagram, because for so long, this has been something that I feel like she deserves it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So maybe no one deserves to be with Taylor Swift, but what can you say about Travis Kelce? I know that he plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's won a couple Super Bowls. I think he's their tight end. And she's been with him for a couple years because I know she's attended at least the last couple of Super Bowls up in the
Well, what I can tell you from a Swifties perspective, I don't know a lot about him from the sports perspective.
Okay.
But however, what I will say is when he has a podcast called New Heights, and she just joined his podcast. This is a very significant deal. She does not do interviews anymore, and she does not do podcasts. She's never done a podcast. So when I saw that she was going to join this podcast, I kind of knew that he was quote unquote endgamed. Swifties will get what I mean by that. Before this. That's a big deal that she is giving this exclusive to him. She is giving us 2 hours of content to just sit and talk. And for those who haven't seen the podcast, I'm not going to force anyone to go watch it, whatever. But if you want an inside look at Taylor Swift and who she is as a human and outside of the artist, that's a really good look into her life and her relationship with Travis. She seems comfortable. She seems safe. And it was just, they were just hanging out and enjoying each other's company and all of that. So this is why I just feel very happy for her, and the significance is that this has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's Taylor Swift.
I think she's
lyric that I didn't even mean to say.
That's funny.
It's one of her songs.
She's like 32, right?
35.
35.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't challenge Caitlin. She knows everything.
I know.
I don't know if I know everything.
You've even got pictures of her on your desk. You got little...
Well, it's because one of my birthdays they made it Taylor Swift theme. But there are many Swifties that are much deeper down the Taylor Swift rabbit hole, but I definitely pay attention. So
look, why did you know that this meant marriage when she went on that podcast?
Well, the podcast specifically, just because she gave him that exclusive, and she is somebody who doesn't bring men on red carpets. She's not defined by her relationship. Well, I guess people can make her defined by her relationships, but that's not something. She's always been, true to herself in that way. So when she gave that exclusive to him, I was just like, this is very significant. Like, she's not just going to do that for a man anytime.
What's interesting to me is that he's famous in his own right, and I'm not a huge sports follower, but one of the things that I thought was funny when she would show up to watch him play, right, it would be like, Taylor Swift is going to watch her boyfriend play, right?
Yeah,
it wasn't Travis Kelce's playing this big game, right? It's like, no, Taylor Swift is here to watch her boyfriend.
Yeah. Which I would say blame the NFL for that and all the times that the cameras put her and other celebrities. Yeah. I don't mind the 5 seconds that she's on the screen, but that's the NFL's fault. And it's football season. She's about to be back.
Yeah,
just a warning to all the football players. But no, I feel like this is significant, and I just like I said, been a long time coming.
All right.
Holly, you were following the likes to that.
Oh, yeah.
Are we up to 1,000 yet?
I told you it was millions.
Millions.
So it's been 53 minutes. Now it's over 8 million.
Yeah. I will just say, I don't know if she wants, like, if Taylor Swift we're on a first name basis, me and her, because we know each other so well. But if they decide to broadcast their wedding, I don't know if they would, but that would be what I would say.
The wedding of the
royal
century.
wedding for America.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even kidding. That sounds crazy, but that is what this is. Like, the Eras Tour was extremely significant. You cannot deny that. And so just the impact that Taylor Swift has, I don't know.
Yeah, look, and she has these things that, like her picture on Instagram, like there's this huge flower arch, flowers everywhere. I mean, if you were going to pick like a painting to be married or to be proposed in, it looks really nice.
It's beautiful. Everything she does is pretty strategic. So I think they've been engaged for a while. That's just my assumption.
And this is the public announcement. Yeah. And I like what she said. She said your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married.
Yeah. Which, you know how to ball. I know Aristotle was a lyric in that song you just played. So there's so many references that I could say, but I'm just going to keep it quiet. So
talented artist and apparently writes her own music.
Every single song.
So talented.
That's the root of Taylor.
Probably the biggest name in talent right now in the world.
Yeah. So sorry for the Taylor Swift segment, but this is big pop culture news for a lot of people.
Big pop culture, and we're in our fun facts segment, so it was perfect. Thanks for joining us. All right, fun facts of the day today. So it is August 26th, and it's National Dog Day. So you have to tell our listeners your dog story.
Oh, this is terrible. So last night, there's this horrible odor in our house, and I'm like, what's going on? And she said the dog got into it with a skunk last night. And so the dog had to sleep outside. I think she dealt with the dog this morning cleaning it up, but oh my word. And it's the second time I love her. Her dog's name is Abby. She's the greatest dog in the world, but she just chases anything. And I guess a skunk came into our yard, and she decided she would go try to play with the skunk, and the skunk wasn't playing.
Yeah, the skunk wasn't playing. Maybe they were, actually. So also today is an important day at Starbucks for Starbucks fan. Why is that, Greg?
Because it's the opening day for the pumpkin spice latte,
That's
which
right.
I will never get. But we did get one for our Taylor Swift correspondent this morning, and apparently she enjoyed it. So, yeah, maybe I'll try a pumpkin spice latte between now and
but it's perfect today because it's rainy weather. It feels like fall might be coming. I can see a tiny bit of color on the mountains outside my house, and I love fall so much more than I love summer. So I don't drink pumpkin spice lattes, but I will do pumpkin spice something. Maybe I'll make pumpkin bread today, actually. I don't know.
If you make pumpkin pie, I'm coming over.
No, I don't like pumpkin pie.
Okay, well.
So on this day, in 1682, the English astronomer Edmund Halley first observed the comet that's named after him. So Halley's Comet was first discovered in 1682. So it's been a little while, right?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing that someone had the wherewithal, the technology to recognize a moving body in the 17th century, 1682.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I don't even know what the telescope would have been like at the time.
I don't know either, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to tell you, I have to tell you this. Some people will think this is funny. So in 1930, Idahoan Philo T. Farnsworth received a patent for his invention of a television system. And there's a whole story behind that because Utah had his statue back in the U.S. Capitol.
Right.
It's now been replaced by Dr. Martha Hughes Cannon statue. But there was argument back and forth. Was he a Utahn or an Idahoan? I say he's from Idaho. So there you go. But on this day, he received the patent for his invention of a television system.
Why do people think he was from Utah then?
Because he spent a lot of time here growing up.
Because he was
born there. But
I've always thought he was Utah.
Yeah.
Well, it was our statue at the
I know, but there's a whole thing around that. But related to that, actually, is in 1920. So we're going to go back 10 years. The 19th Amendment was formally adopted into the Constitution. So it wasn't that long ago. We talked about how Tennessee became the last state to ratify it, and that was the amendment that gives women the right to vote. But it had to be formally adopted into the Constitution, and that happened on this day in 1920.
Just 105 years ago.
Yeah.
Gave women the right to vote.
Yeah. It really has not been that long.
Yeah. You think our country's progressive, and we are.
Both of my grandmothers were alive when that was ratified.
Yeah.
Feels like not that long ago. So those are your fun facts of the day.
Well,
and congratulations,
good.
Taylor Swift.
And congratulations to Taylor Swift. And I hope that our listeners who we had one texter who said,
I'm checking
out for a minute for Taylor Swift. So join us again tomorrow.